In this video, we try going around the outside of Shelty in Daily Race A. Daily Race B, we have a dangerous hairpin as we near the rear end Blue Racer. And in Daily Race C, we're stuck in a traffic jam at Suzuka. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Gran Turismo weekly race guide here in 2024. This week, a bit of an odd week. And you can tell it's odd because race A, we have Group 3 cars. Yes indeed, we're at the Red Bull Ring as well. Now, there are no DR updates for this race. It's 6 laps, a rolling start on racing medium tyres, and BOP is on. I'm in the Porsche 911 that you can see in the background, and we're going to talk about this race a bit more in detail because it's a bit of a weird one now, this combo, if I'm brutally honest. If you don't want to watch this race, then there are some timestamps there for you to jump to Daily Race B or Race C respectively. However, we are sticking here with Daily Race A. Now, speaking of A, here are the key statistics for this track then. It's been used 11 times now in terms of Gran Turismo 7's life in daily races. Track and car combo 7 times. It's 7th overall in terms of used combo rank, so it's very much up there, and it was last used in June. Bumpy, slippy, and penalties are annoying. That's what we have to say about Red Bull Ring. Let's jump into this race then. Let's have a look at exactly what happens, and I'll give you a lap guide straight after it. We are then at the start. We've got a 4-scene pole. Arky is in P2 in a Porsche. Sonic and a Nissan in P3 and a Honda in P4. So nobody knows what to pick here at the moment at the Red Bull Ring. Daily Race A. This is an interesting one. We're going to head towards turn 1 then. And there's only 12 cars, which is unusual for a Group 3 race, if I do say so. And turn 1 is a bit sketchy now. It's very bumpy as you enter it. Cars seem to be all over the place. It seems very slippy. So you are going to have to be careful of track limits on the exit, which are also a tiny bit different, I feel like. I feel like we can use more of the exit. Blue Racer, though, used a bit too much. Got a 0.5 second penalty as we head towards this right-hander, where you will see dives into this corner side by side behind us there as well. They're both in Renaults. They're the only Renaults I think I saw in terms of this one, and they're at the back as well, so no idea if the Renault's any good. We're going to head down here then towards the right-hander then. We're still in this line of cars then as we go into here and up ahead. It looks like an Audi's gone deep there. Rubble Mag's involved in that one. Blue Racer's got up the side of both of them here. Shelty lost out massively then as we head towards this left-hander. We're going to try around the outside of Shelty then as we go into here. Look at it, side-by-side racing. I'm trying to get my foot down early here in this Porsche, which is the main benefit of this car. It can plant the power very early indeed, and we did get past. So we're up into P9, turn 1 once again, lap number 2. Through we go here, and again, we're trying to get the run out the corner here. The Blue Racer in the McLaren just struggled on the exit then. We're in the slipstream of Max Power, who's just got a 0.5 second penalty as well for track limits on that exit. As we go towards the right-hander, here we are on the inside, hard on the brakes, in we go, and a tiny bit deep there from me. And as we continue out this corner, I was a bit unsure whether I'd push Blue Racer out there, so we are going to have a look at that in the bloopers just to be sure. But we are up to P8 for now as we go into left-hander, still in lap number 2 then. We continue on through here as we go over the curb and continue on. Max Power about to take that 0.5 second penalty over towards the left-hand side. We go towards the right here then, and we get a 0.5 second penalty for the curb. You see my reaction now, I was very confused. In fact, it made me outbrake myself, and here Max Power going to go down the inside then. Gets the job done there, very opportunistic to do that, and all's the same now once the penalties have finished. However, Blue Racer is very close to my rear, and I was hoping Blue Racer wasn't going to go for this one. Is he? Yes, he is. He's going to have a look down the inside then as we head towards turn number 1. We go over towards the left-hand side using all of the circuit as we go into here then. Through we go. Again, trying to keep this car as balanced as possible, and we remain with that penalty and in P8 for now. As we go into here though, Max Power's just gone a bit deep there. That's going to slow us down. That's going to put us back into the grasp of Blue Racer. Hodgson out very wide there in the Ford GT. An unusual car to see here, but nice to see a different car there as well as we continue. Oh, Max Power and Robert Max have just come together. Hodgson got another 0.5 second penalty to go up to 1, and we're going to gain 3 positions. Blue Racer gains 4 from all of that lot, so Blue Racer winning the lottery there. Recommend you put that on this week with what happened on that corner. And we are now into the infamous P6 position. And as we continue on through here, we'll fast forward towards turn 1 there because nothing really happens on the start-finish straight. Into the braking zone we go. Turn in, nice and easy, accelerate through. Blue Racer gets it all wrong here. We have a massive run on the exit then. Blue Racer up ahead will have to defend his position, goes towards the right side. We're going to go towards the left. Very hard to overtake round the outside here, so my plan of action was to brake early, try and get on the inside, and accelerate out of the corner. However, I failed to commit to my plan of action, and I go deep instead, and Blue Racer defends that beautifully on the exit then. So we continue on here. We're still in our slipstream, which will be stronger at this moment in time just because we are under 2/10 of a second. Blue Racer goes defensive then. We're going to have to try around the outside on this corner now as we go into here then. Slowing the car down nicely. Once again, going to try for the cut back. This time doing it a little bit better. Still not succeeding though as we continue on out towards the double left here at the Red Bull ring then as we go into here. Blue Racer, ooh, a little bit deep there from Blue Racer, looking to try and pull it back in the Porsche then. I can't really get it on the inside there. Blue Racer still maintaining that P5 for now, but surely feeling the pressure as we continue on out of there. Again, just went a bit wide there on that corner. We go towards the left-hand side then, side by side towards the penultimate corner here. Can we go around the outside? The answer is yes, we can. Beautiful racing there with Blue Racer. Really well played. And I did enjoy that one as well. As we continue on through here, we'll advance a bit further on. Do we catch up to Bembo? No, we don't. It's the final lap here. The same corner I just overtook Blue Racer on. As we continue on through here, approaching the final corner. On the inside we go. We continue on out. We look up ahead and Bembo gets a 0.5 second penalty, which will get rounded at the line, which does mean we steal 4th place. How about that, folks? We steal 4th place. Now, in terms of this race and the score, I've given it just a 2.5. The reason for that start type is still a rolling start, so a 0.5. Car tyre choice is okay. Race medium tyres group 3. You can have some good racing, but there are penalty issues here, and the race length is still a bit short, in my opinion. So I only got 2.5 there. You can see brake balance on the right side. Only +1 in the Porsche for this one. Then as we head towards turn 1, I started using a square on the right hand side. I felt I had to brake a bit earlier for this corner. Now this corner has changed with the recent BOP updates and changes that Gran Turismo have done. So you actually want to brake a little bit earlier now. And you want to try and cut the inside of turn 1. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come in and here, trying to kind of do that, where you cut the inside of the corner and continue on out. If you cut it too much, there will be a penalty there. But I found it far more stable than trying to take a wider line where there's more bumps and the car's getting more unsettled. So do try and do that. We head towards the next turn then, and on the right hand side there, I use there's a Marshall post, and that is what I use as it hits the edge of my screen. You can use the 100 board if you want to use that. It's right in front of you. It's very obvious as well, but you are going to have to judge distances on that one, whereas on the Marshall box on the right, nice and easy on bumper cam. It's the edge of the screen. Hard on the brakes, and as we come into here, we clip the inside and we continue on out of there. No real dramas at all. You do have to be careful power overstay on exit. And this car, if it does spin its wheels, will hit the limiter very quickly and it will cost you time. We're going to continue down towards this right-hander. Once again, we're still looking at a 100 board here, but on the left-hand side, we've got these cobble things on the side of the hill. I used the last one here. That's what I was looking for consistently for this corner, okay, on that left-hand side, and that is my brake marker for this one. So what we're going to do, we're going to go hard on the brakes now as we come into here, slowing the car down nicely, staying in second gear, just keep some stability on exit. I did suffer some power oversteer there. You see it's sore. I may have heard a little bit of wheel spin, but I did strain up the wheel a little bit on exit just to make sure that I did get some grip. The left-hander then is the 50 board or the white line, whichever one you prefer for this one. I'm braking just before I get there, and you can see that. Maybe you can use the 50 board and the rear view mirror if you are struggling a little bit there in terms of judging distances. But as you come into here, it's essentially a trail braking corner, so you just want to trail the brakes all the way to that point where you get to the apex and then start accelerating immediately. That's the quickest way to do that corner. We approach the second one then with the short circuit rejoining the full circuit, and literally as that joins there, as I've highlighted, that is your brake marker. So as that leaves the edge of your screen, or bottom of the screen should I say, I hit the brakes and turn in. I do drop a gear as well. I go to second gear for this. It just adds a tiny bit of rotation, which is useful, and then I'm going to start accelerating very quickly and upshift to third. Just be careful on exit of those track limits. I did talk about them in the race, and I did get a penalty in the race as well. As we continue to the final couple of corners then over towards the left hand side using all of the circuit here. You do have to brake a bit earlier than normal now, so you got the Marshall cage on the left hand side, so you can judge that accordingly with the distance, or the white square on the right. You may want to use that instead now because it's very much closer to your screen. But even so, I'm using all of the circuit, using that Marshall cage there, braking just before turning in, trying to get my tyres on the inside of the curb, accelerate very aggressively through there. It's really well worth that while doing. You won't suffer as much power oversteer. And the final brake marker is the Austrian flag there, the end of that Austrian flag. Just as it's about to hit the edge of your screen, you can see I've just hit the brakes now, just before it hits the edge of your screen. That is my brake marker. I want to actually cut the inside nice and early here. You can go aggressive as well. If you slide the car like I do here, it will just stick on exit because it's a compression and it will work nicely. We head towards the line then, and that is a 128.2. Do expect to see 127s here this week. Jump to daily race B then, where we're at Grand Valley Highway in Group 4 machinery. As you can see, I chose the McLaren 650S, but I'll talk about that choice in just a second. First up, 4 laps here at Grand Valley Highway, rolling start, racing hard tyres, yuck. Tyres well fuel and tyre wear, and brake balance is adjustable. So I chose the McLaren here. Not the greatest car in the world to choose here, in my opinion, and I used a different car for the time trial. In terms of statistics then, 6 times it's been used. The second time for this track and car combos. This is the 3rd time of asking that we're doing it here. Around 25th on the ranking, and last used on the 25th of March as well. Track limit issues here, absolutely, and that hairpin can be very dangerous indeed in terms of overtaking. Right, I chose the McLaren 650S. Let's jump into the race and let me tell you why it was a mistake. Right, what has everyone else picked then here? We've got a GTR in pole, a Huracan in P2. There is another 650S in here, but as I say, I wouldn't pick this car. If you're enjoying this video, and it said stream then, it's not a stream, it's a video, do give it a like and do subscribe to the channel. Just Bob there, just going towards the right hand side. Not sure why, maybe we're wanting to avoid the dangers of the hairpin that I talked about in the introduction of this daily racer. So we're already up a place as we head down towards that dangerous hairpin. And one thing to note here is track limits. It's the white line. However, you can go past the white line here up until the sand. And one critical part is through here. So let's go towards the left-hand side here. Notice there's a curve there. You can use that, but unfortunately, you cross the white line and get a penalty. As we see, somebody's gone off there. That's Bembo in the Honda NSX, a Marlboro Honda NSX there. Just having an issue. Look at that one in the bloopers. Side by side though, TCR racing strong here on this bank holiday Monday as we go into this left-hander, and Bembo keeps that position but goes deep. So I'm thinking to get on the inside here. That was my plan of action as we go into the right-hander. Bembo just loses the rear a little bit then as we go into the left, and we are now up a place and up into P13 we go. That's power with that 0.5 second penalty. And we'll be taking that in that Porsche Cayman on that right-hand side. So we get another place here. Captain Stupendous racing in VR then as we head in towards this right-hander in the tunnel then. They made this far too tight compared to the original, that is for sure. However, it is a challenging corner as we go into the left and we're looking to try and get the run out of this corner. That's the main goal here. As you can see, we're trying to get the run. Do we do it on that Honda NSX? We're going towards the inside then. They've left the gap open here as Captain Stupendous. And we're going to be side by side as we enter this tunnel. And in we go. Struggling to see over towards the right. I lift a little bit here. I was unsure whether I'd understeer or not. We are past. However, Hudson gets full opportunistic mode there. Goes past both of us here and goes up into P11. I'm trying to hope and pray that this McLaren can get up to speed and really get alongside Hodgson. However, Hodgson is going to get that place and into P11. Well played there as we go into the right-hander. Max Powers trying to get involved there in that Porsche Cayman. There's a 0.5 second penalty for the Spanish driver up ahead as well as we come down here then and head towards the braking zone. We're on the inside here. This is the safest place to be. And we nearly go into blue race there. We do run deep. However, we don't hit anybody, fortunately. And there's another penalty. That's for Robomags in the distance, who's in the Ferrari 458 there. So a mixture of cars here. Again, nobody really is sure what is the best car at the moment. Bit of a clash there between, well, Blue Racer just lost the rear end and Hodgson was the unfortunate victim there, and we gained a place from it. So looking down the inside of Blue Racer, can we get the job done? Not quite here as we continue on out, but we are in P11 again with 2 penalties up ahead. We go defensive here against Hodgson then as we head towards the left-hander. In we go. Blue Racer gets it all sorts of sideways then. I'm going to have to be careful here where that Huracan ends up. Hodgson takes advantage of that down the inside and back down to P12 here. Fantastic race so far as we continue on through here. Now, where are these penalties? That is the question. So it's Caesar, the Spanish driver, up ahead. It's ghosting, just on ghost there. I'm going to follow Hodgson through. So finally into P11 as we go into the tunnel. Hard on the brakes again, side by side with Hodgson as we come out of here. You've got to be careful of these bollards on the left, by the way. They will give penalties if you clip them. Same on the right as we go through here. And we maintain P11. But we are in the slipstream of Hodgson as we continue through here. There's a bit of a blip in the network there. You may have heard it as all the cars went left and then back again. Max Power had the same thing, so maybe a Virgin Media issue, not too sure. We're side by side with Hodgson now as we head towards turn number 1. So I'm going to try around the outside, the long way round. Can we do it is the question as we continue on. We can indeed. Look at that, round the outside. I forgot I even did that. Happy days indeed. Up into P10. Robomags and Blue Racer fighting hard up ahead. It's Italian manufacturer versus Italian manufacturer. Ferrari versus Lamborghini. We've got a British one here who wants to get in the mix in the McLaren then as we go onto the brakes for the hairpin once again. Third time of asking down into here. Blue Racer goes deep. We're sort of on the inside-ish here. Robomags gets the place back then as we continue on out of there. Look at this. This is brilliant stuff as we go into the left-hander. And Robomags going to keep the position. Not too sure. In towards the left we go. I'm going to try the same thing that I did on Bembo. Get on the inside. There we go. Look at that. Just enough room there on the outside as we continue on through but Rubber Mags is still there. I've got to give some space. So on the exit, here we go. The Ferrari gets a brilliant exit there. Hodgson following Rubber Mags through then. And we're back down into P11. Yeah, this is a crazy race. It really is. But it's showing that you can have a good race here. And this is critical with what's about to come in the very near future in this video. And we'll talk about that shortly. Even so, fantastic race here in Daily Race B so far in terms of the action. Rubber Mags go straight into that slipstream. I go towards the right-hand side then to be on the inside for the tunnel. It's the place I want to be here as we go hard on the brakes, stopping the car. A little bit deep there, but nothing crazy here. Rubber Mag sees that as well as we go onto the left. We're finally into P10. Plenty of places still to be made here on the final lap. We can see Scirocco with Shelty in P7, I think that is. As we go into the hairpin here, hard on the brakes. Hodgson goes deep. I follow suit here, but I managed to stop it just a tiny bit better than Hodgson. Rubber Mag's very close in the Ferrari. Just gets a bit of oversteer there, does Hodgson then. So once again, we are side by side with that purple machine. However, we're looking to get past Hodgson coming back on the inside. Did we get it done? Slight tap. That's just due to dirty tyres. And we are now up into P9. Finally, we are past Hodgson. That took the entire race, it did. Brilliant racing, though, all the same. Very good stuff. And it was very enjoyable. As, you know, we don't normally have this long race highlights for Race B, which how much fantastic racing you can have here. So we do finish up. In terms of the scores then, I've given this a 2.5 out of 5. Start type, 0.5. Car Tyre Choice, because of the racing hard, 0.5. Good racing, 1. Penalty issues, I put 0.5. While it's not necessarily a penalty issue, the fact that some tracks you can go over the white line and others you can't, I just find it a bit annoying, to be honest. Rewind it 5 seconds to see the brake balance. The graphic was there for you. But in towards turn 1 we go. It's a 300 board. Well, it's just after this, in fact. 300 board if your car's rubbish on brakes. Just after it, where the line goes straight there, is what I use in this Nissan GTR. And I'm on +5 brake balance for those that are actually wondering. But you can go back for the graphic, of course. As we come into here, drop to second gear. And what I'm looking for here is where the sand stops on the inside and it goes to concrete. That's your accelerating marker. You can see I've already gone on the throttle already. I see it. I'm like, right, I can go. And that's what I'm looking for. Very good accelerating marker here at Grand Valley Highway. And one I highly recommend you do actually use. So we continue on out of here then, and we're going to head down the hill here. So we're going to go towards the left-hand side then, and we are going to stop it just in a moment. While this isn't going to be an accelerating marker, that post there is your turning marker. Start turning right when you see this. Now, in some cars, you don't have to lift. In the GTR, I recommend lifting just a tiny bit. Not like a full lift, but going from 100% to 90%. It's just going to allow the car to turn that little bit more. Remember, tyres can only do 100% of something. You see there, I just lifted a little bit. I actually went down to 50% there, but didn't need to go that as extreme. And I've paused it here just to explain this. If you go over the white line here, you're going to get a penalty. Even though you can just about do it in the GTR, you're still going to get a penalty. Okay, I suffered a lot there with track limit penalties. It's very frustrating, if I do say so myself. I feel like the dirt should be the track limits. Even so, on the right-hand side, the braking marker for the hairpin, I use the tree. The tree is a brilliant brake marker, in my opinion. You could use a 400 board. We've literally just passed it in the GTR. But the tree there, really good marker as we go onto the brakes. So you want to get it turned on the inside. You want to stay kind of tight here. The camber will help you. Accelerate as early as possible. Use the rocks if you need to. And continue on towards this double left-hander. And it is effectively a double left-hander. So on the right-hand side, you got the concrete barrier there to protect the mountain, because the mountain needs protecting. So literally the end of that is your lift-off marker. Maybe you dab the brakes. It depends on your car and what you like doing here. So I'm pretty sure I just dab the brakes as I get to this point. I'm doing it a bit later, in fact, here in the GTR. I turn in towards the left, over towards the right side. Be careful of the white line again. And on the right side, you've just got the top of the cliff there with a little bit of grass. As that hits the edge of your screen, you can use that as a brake marker. It's very hard to use that, if I'm brutally honest with you. And it might be better just to get in a straight line, hit the brakes and turn in early for this one. But if you want a marker, it's there for you. So I hit the brakes, I turn in, over towards the right side as much as possible, and there's a fence there that just shows you where the corner goes, essentially. So the end of that is your brake marker for the left-hander. Now, for this corner, you actually want to keep it tight and accelerate really early. I actually accelerate quite delayed here. I actually lose some time. Even though it was rank 1 at the time, there's definitely a lot more time in this one. So notice there, I just delay it, and then I straighten up myself, rather than the car forcing itself to the outside. Next brake marker then is the 100 board on the right side. Nice and easy here. Just brake in a straight line towards the apex. Don't brake in a straight line as the corner goes left and then you carry straight on. Brake towards the apex, okay? This is a long, long left-hander and it really comes back on itself. So if you brake towards it, you should then have a nice line. Notice how I brake in a straight line there towards it, and then trail braking over towards the left-hand side as much as possible, and then we're going to turn in towards the right-hander. You may want to dab the brake here where the arrow is on the left. It's the first arrow, so it's very obvious in your peripheral vision, depending on how big your screen is, of course. If you're on a 100-inch screen, it might be very difficult. But so you can see the arrow right there. There's 5 or 6 of them on the left-hand side. As we come into here, what I'm looking for is that sign there. You can see I've just started accelerating nice and early. Basically, the closer you get to that, the earlier you really should have accelerated. So when you see it, start accelerating if you can. Even if it's 50% initially, just to carry some speed here through the corner and then continue on going through. Just be careful on exit. You can't may understeer. I short shift here because I was very close to hitting the barrier there. I didn't want to hit the barrier, to be honest with you. Right, we head towards the next braking zone. And this tunnel, the sharp right-hander in the tunnel. Now on the left-hand side, you've got the 100 board. That's what I highly advise you use here. Very nice, obvious brake marker. And once again, you want to aim towards the corner a little bit here. Don't brake in a straight, well, brake in a straight line, but towards the corner is how I'm trying to explain that. You can see that on chase cam here. So that's what we're going to do. And then we start to release the brake as we turn in. Now we're going to try and maintain the speed as much as we can. So on throttle very early here. Short shift to third gear. Now I'm going to dab the brake just as the tunnel ends on the right hand side. So I want to dab the brake to get the car rotated. I have to avoid the bollards though. If I touch the bollards, I get a penalty or invalidate the lap. In this situation, it's a penalty. Obviously, if it's time trial, it invalidates the lap. Not in the daily race time trial though, just to explain that. Through I go, be careful of all the bollards, and I'm full throttle in third gear now, all the way to the line. You can easily do that corner, and this was a 158 or 55.333. Oh, there we go, 55.333. It was rank 1 at the time as well. That's it for B. We're already in C here, where you can see we're in Group 2. Yes, it's a Super GT race, and that's because it is there this week then. What exactly are we doing here, even though we've just done it in a time trial as well? Questionable. 11 laps here. Rolling start. Racing soft tyres, but you do have to pit at least once. Times 2 fuel and times 3 tyre wear and brake bounce is adjustable. One thing I'll say is that times 3 is a lot bigger than you realise with these softer combiner tyres, and I'll talk about that in the race. But before we get there, let's have a look at the key statistics. 18 times this track has been used. It's only been used once, though, in terms of Group 2 and this track. And used combo rank 59th there, last used on the 5th of August. So this track, issues, dirty air and tyre wear for this daily race. You are going to have to be very careful indeed. Let's jump into it then, and let's have a look exactly what happens. Right, here we are for the race then, and you can see everybody but one person, which is Max Power, has picked the NSX. Max Power going in that Nissan GTR. Go enjoy this video as always. Do give it a like, do subscribe to the channel, and you may have just seen I'm on +5 brake bounce here as well in this Honda NSX. In towards turn 1 we go. Line of cars, line of Super GT cars as well. It's nice to see. However, what isn't nice is what we're about to experience, which is the dirty air. It is atrocious. It really is. And I've talked about this before. Why, oh why, in terms of a game, would you put in one of the weaknesses of real-life racing? Dirty air. Nobody really likes it, personally. Some of the die-hard simulation people will go, oh, but it's real life. Yeah, I just want enjoyment, and I don't find dirty air enjoyable in the slightest. I saw that, I nearly went off, literally, in the left-hander, but even so, I managed to keep it on. As we go into here, though, it gets very close there. There's a tag between Danny and Robomags there. Danny loses the rear end, and Robomags continues on, and we actually suffer from it in the end. We went down the inside, and we're now in last place. So, we advance to lap number 2, and we're going to go in towards turn 1. In the distance then, up ahead, Danny's gone sliding. Max Power's gone into the side of Danny there as well. Look at that one in the bloopers, of course we will. As we advance towards the hairpin here on lap number 2. Max Power going for that same move again. Round the outside there of Robomags. Gets it done. A yellow flag. Can't see what's going on there. I think they've actually left there. So we've gained a position. Now, I was stuck in this train and it was pretty boring, to be honest. Or pretty frustrating, probably is a better word, rather than boring. So I decided I'm going to come in the pits here. Now, Robomags seems to notice I'm going in the pits. And you can see my face there. I'm just like, no, you're ruining my strategy. Absolutely ruining it. But Roman's got a 3-second penalty for the atrocious pit entry. Then maybe trying to cover me off, I don't know. Roman's can't confirm, of course. And my reaction, of course, is because that's my real reaction. At the time, I wanted to have clean air. Roman lets me go there, and I put my thumbs up to say thank you. We get to lap number 5 there, where we've got the fastest lap of the race because we've got clean air now, so we could do it. We do overtake some of the pit stoppers. However, we don't overtake all of them. As you can see, some more coming out on lap number 6 then. And as we head in towards turn 1, we get past 1. We don't get past Shadow, though. But as we go into the second party, Shadow loses the rear end. And we are going to get past. However, look at my tyres down that bottom left-hand side. They ain't looking good, are they? They really are not looking good. Now, if you're asking about the tyre temperatures, I will be doing a video very soon on that. I'm still testing stuff out, etc. But they are in the left-hand side as well. It's not in the game. I can't see them in-game. They're literally only on the recording. We're going to defend in towards the chicane then as we go into here. Side-by-side action. Look at this. Beautiful racing there with Shadow. And we still stay ahead. The final of the pit stoppers have come in the distance. And let's see where we end up then. So we're apparently in P3 right now. The two leaders have in fact stayed ahead then. So P3 not too shabby, but my tyres are very, very shabby. Look at that lot. They're halfway worn here, and we've still effectively got most of the race to go. We really do. So it's going to be a struggle. Let's see what happens with the people on fresh tyres behind me. And what you'll see right now is that they are struggling. And it's all to do with dirty air. I am miles off the pace right now. I really am. Let's see how far off the pace I am as we get to the sector time. Half a second there. And it's only going to get worse. But that's significant in my opinion. It is significant. Anyway, later on in the lap here, Shadow gets a good run in that slipstream. And as we go in towards this left-hander, I can leave some space. And unfortunately, there's contact between the two of us. Shadow lifts off there, and I remain in position. But at this moment in time, I decided I'm going to come in the pits here. There's no way I can get to the end of the race there. My front right is literally nearly a quarter down. So I decided to come in the pits here, and I'm going to make a second pit stop. And we're going to see if it's viable. You know, this could be the viable strategy that we don't know of yet. Let's find out. So we go on to lead the pits here then, and we're in the middle of nowhere right now, and it's not looking like a valid strategy. Even so, lap 10, we catch up to Robomags, who pitted at the same time as me, obviously trying to get to the end here, and this is how much time you lose. So I'm on a fresh set of tyres. See, I did quite a quick lap down, lap number 9, and I can't get past, even in, well, such a vast difference here of tyres. Robomags up ahead on really old tyres. Dirty air, I can't get past. It's impossible for me to get past. I'm trying all my might to try and get some place where to overtake. I'm 1 second down in one sector already. So the only strategy here is a one stop. And the only strategy you can do, really, is pit on lap 5 or 6. Or you can risk a lap 4, maybe, and try and get to the end. But it's going to be a hard challenge. But it's probably doable, to be honest with you. You have to avoid traffic, and then you've got no real choice. So I'm really not liking this. I'm still behind Robomags right now. I'm 2.2 seconds down on my previous lap. And I have the tyres. Robomags, unfortunately, gives it up there. Or fortunately for me, gives it up, I suppose. But unfortunately for the race itself. But we get towards the end of the race there. And yeah, you have to one stop. And it's lap 4, 5 or 6. And hope for the best. You can't go out after 6 because you'll just get undercut by everybody. Score-wise, he's only got 4 out of 10, which is very low. 0.5 start type. I don't like the rolling starts. Car tyre choice, I think, is bad. You can't have good racing. There's no strategy. There's no penalty issues, which means it gets the point. And race length, I feel like it should be longer or different. There's no randomness there at all. Going to head in towards turn 1 then. And you're braking extremely late here, halfway into the corner. And what I'm looking for there is that little bit of green on the outside. I'm braking just before I get to that, but that's what I'm using here. I'm halfway into the corner. I'm then going to hit the brakes and trail brake. If you are struggling, just brake a bit earlier at the start of the curb, by all means. But you can see here, I'm just lifting the brakes there. As I come in, I'm hard on the throttle there in second gear, up to third gear. Stay in third gear as you go in towards this left. Don't turn in too early and just lift through these corners. Better to lift here than dab the brakes, I found, and just let the car roll through. Now, as I come into this right-hander, I'm going to dab the brakes just before I get to that curb on the right-hand side. This is just to slow the car down a little bit. Initially, I was using second gear for this, but I think third gear is actually a better gear to be in for this. The soft tyres just grip, grip, and grip. So I highly recommend you do use those soft tyres as we go into here then. As you can see, not a problem. Straight on the throttle here, in towards the left. The car just grips, and we continue on round as we head towards Tidgney 1. Now, this car is about aggressiveness, and you get very aggressive here at Tidgney 1. The 50 board is your brake markers. You're going to just hit the brakes just briefly. Hit the brakes briefly. It'll be around 130, 125 miles an hour. You'll see kilometers an hour in a second. And what you're going to do is just chuck it in. You can use the curb if you want to, but I highly advise you just clip it rather than go over it. And look at that. Speed carried through there is enormous. Right, the second brake marker, Tidgney 2, is literally the Marshall tent on the left-hand side. Nice, easy marker there. And for this corner, it's better to brake a little bit earlier than normal and really carry the speed through the corner. That's what I found when I was really attacking Tidgney 2. So that's what I do here. Clip the inside, instantly on the throttle. The car doesn't oversteer. The soft tyres just grip. And we head towards the hairpin then. So as we get here, on the left-hand side, we've got the Dunlop sign. This is your brake marker. Now, this is an interesting one for this corner. You could use first gear or second gear. Either do work. Now, on this particular lap, I use first gear. On other laps, I use second gear. They're nearly identical. I would argue it's a tiny bit quicker in first, but it's far safer in second. So make that of what you will. As you can see there, I was on and off the throttle. That's a little turbo control that I've talked about before. And again, I'll be doing a separate video on that as well at some point. But we head towards Spoon now. And with Spoon, we're going to use our normal brake marker. There it is, highlighted for you now. The escape road on the right-hand side. Just as that leaves the screen, that's going to be our braking marker for this corner. Okay, so this one is third gear, and you will drop to second gear. The second part of Spoon, be aggressive as you go into here. Initially, let the car use its downforce as you go into here and try and carry as much speed as possible, but then start braking as you get close to the curb. And remember, you have to be off the end of the curb. Well, you have to be off the curb before the end of it, should I say, on the right side there. Because otherwise, you're going to hit the slippy stuff and you're going to go for a spin. And you don't want that. You want to, maintain your decent lap that you're doing. So you can see I'm just dabbing the brakes, trying to get the car turned in. Very early throttle there in second gear. The car will rotate a tiny bit, which is exactly what you want. Second gear is so useful on this circuit. It really is. It's just at the top of the revs, and it allows you just to rotate the car a teeny tiny bit. Don't go super into the revs, by the way. The turbo does come off now. It didn't used to in the Super GT cars, but it does come off a little bit, and you can see that in the right-hand side. So as we head towards the final corner then, you can use the yellow line, start of the old pit entry there if you want to. I was actually using the 100 board. These soft tyres give you just that little bit extra braking, so I was trying to use the 100 board on the right-hand side, and that's what I'm going to use on this particular lap then as we go into here. Hard on the brakes, drop to first gear, fit the inside curb, and then over towards the left, in second gear, accelerate out the corner, head towards the line, keep a nice tight line. It just gives you that extra half a tenth. And as we get there, a 146.992. Happy days indeed. That's it in terms of lap guides. It's time for the bloopers. So what happened to Shelty then in race A? Oh, just outbrakes themselves a little bit then. And there's a slight bit of contact between the two. So what Shelty's going to do is going to lift, because Shelty is a true sportsman there. And let's Rubber Mags go. But unfortunately, loses a couple more places, including to yours truly. Let's have a look at this side by side in the left. We go, look at that. Beautiful bit of racing. And then I went on by as Shelty lost the rear end. So, jumping on board me here, this is where I wasn't sure whether I hit Blue Racer off or not. I'm pretty sure I didn't. I know I went a little bit deep, but I think Blue Racer did go deep as well. Oh, yeah, I was nowhere near, actually. Nowhere near. Sometimes you have that. Oh, that was near, though, wasn't it, on the exit? Okay, that's not too shabby at all. There's Hodgson going rally crossing in a Ford GT. What happened with Max Power, though, and Robomag? So, through here we go. And, oh, yeah, so that's netcode. Max Power was talking about the cars just slipping a little bit. Literal netcode there. Just tapped the rear of Robomags accidentally. Uses this escape road though, and then look at this. It just ends. Because why, Gran Turismo? Why? No idea why they've done that. Up into daily race B then. And what happened with Bembo here? So we saw Bembo on the outside, on the brakes. In we go. Can't really go anywhere. And unfortunately does tap the Spanish driver, but loses out more than anybody else here as they continue through the corner. It's fair play to Bembo there. Up into daily race C, not much happened in B then. So Max Power here, and Danny's already lost the rear there. Yeah, nowhere Max Power could go. So yeah, that's all fair game. And standing Hot Boy here. Ooh, hits Hot Naked Ape off there. That is a bit brutal, if I'm brutally honest with you. A lot of brutals there. And speaking of brutal, so is that 3-second penalty. But I think it's worthwhile. It was not the German driver off then. Let's go into the left-hander here. Oh, goes for a spin. Just full throttle. Goes for a spin. I think the dirty air not helping there at all. Into side-by-side then with Shadow. And you can see it's the tiniest of knocks. They just got it wrong. Turning to the left. Just didn't anticipate the car turning so much, I imagine. Got on board Bob then. Bob in towards the left-hander we go. And Bob is going to go for a spin there. Hi, Bob. Going for that spin. And, yeah, literally going to... Oh, hopefully going to get out of this corner. There we go. There's Bob. I actually didn't show that in the main race, did I? That's going to be it, though, for this video, folks. I do hope you have enjoyed it. If you did, as always, give it a like, subscribe, and do check out the partners down below in the description. Thank you, as always, and I hope to see you in another video or live stream again very soon.